My name is John Robinson Jr., and I am the founder of Joy Plus. Joy Plus is a social media company for the personal development space. It gives you a gratitude journal, a vision board, and it connects you with coaches. In terms of the coaches, they are life coaches, personal development coaches, business coaches, health coaches, etc. Right now, there's over 70 coaches in the marketplace from around the world, and the users are enjoying their services. The year was 2020. Two crises were going on simultaneously. We had the pandemic, but then it was also the summer where George Floyd was murdered. And I was taking some time speaking to corporations about the need for diversity, inclusion, and equity. Also the need for more Black leadership, not just more Black employees, because what happens, Levi did a study and they were very transparent saying, yes, we may have diverse employees, but if we're being honest with ourselves, they are on the bottom of the pyramid. I'm giving these talks, and then it dawned on me that it was time to walk the walk and do it myself. It was time to launch my own business. So hired an engineering team. They told me it would take 6 months to build. It ended up taking a year. That's part of the resilience that you got to build with being an entrepreneur. But ultimately, it was launched. We've been in business for 2 years now. Hurdles definitely exist, which is why I was so grateful that the DMZ and Isaac decided to found the Black Innovation Fellowship, which I was very lucky to be a part of. Of course, I could take a step back and talk about the adversity on a few different levels. One, it's not normal to see a successful Black founder, except for, the typical music artist and basketball player. I'm just talking about Black entrepreneur founders that are successful on a global scale. So to be able to see that is an inspiration because it says, if you can do it, I can do it. We could continue to pass on that torch. But if we're talking about hurdles and adversity, there's lack of not just representation, but many times what founders need is access to capital. I ended up bootstrapping my company. If I'm being transparent, it cost $40,000-$50,000 to build the company. So that's just money out of my own pocket that I saved up. But you got to make a decision. Do you take that money, invest it in different vehicles like real estate or stocks or whatever vehicle that you may think of, or do you invest in yourself and you take that chance? So I decided to invest in John Robinson Jr. I had this vision. The impetus of the vision started from a book that I wrote. It's titled Joy and Love. The idea is to maximize joy in your life and love in the world. It did well, but I knew I had to simplify my methodology in a digital way. And that was the genesis of Joy Plus. But then we're still talking hurdles and adversity. I would tell my family members, I got this amazing business idea. I'm going to quit my job and go full time. And the people that love you the most are the ones that want to see you do the less riskiest things. They're like, you know what? You got a nice corporate salary job. Maybe quitting that job is too risky. When I did quit, my family that loved me, my brothers that loved me, they would email me a posting at the TTC. Did you know that they're hiring? And no shade to my brothers, love them. They didn't mean any harm. But they were harming me because what they were doing was letting me know that maybe consider a plan B. I've always thought that plan B is always distract from plan A. And if you're going to do plan A, go all in, believe in yourself. It's not always going to be easy, but that is what tests a real entrepreneur. You get nervous. But I always felt like anytime you get nervous, it means you're growing. I always believe that fear is false evidence appearing real. And if you start off from a cynical position of what if things don't go well, then they're not. But if you start off with a position that what if everything goes right, there's still going to be hills and valleys, but the valleys is not necessarily you lost or you failed. They're just learning moments. It's like, oh shoot, what can I learn from that and get back up on that hill? It does go up and down, but as long as the momentum is carrying you up, it's a worthwhile journey. Yeah, for sure. So in terms of short-term goals, I currently have a small engineering team as well as a social media manager, a brand ambassador living out in Hawaii. But the short-term goal would be to continue to grow that team. And it's a good transition to what the long-term goal is, because the long-term goal is to hit 100 million ARR and hit IPO. ARR is annual residual revenue. That's when you hit IPO and you're in a good position. But what you do is you just work your way backwards. I know it takes 80 sales reps to be selling subscriptions for my platform, 10 a month for 10 years to hit 100 million annual revenue. So you just gotta do it step by step. It's not gonna come overnight. It's a marathon. But as long as you have that North Star in mind and you know your numbers, you know what your average revenue per unit is, you know what your cost to acquire a customer is, you know what your lifetime value per customer is, and you make decisions going forward, being measured and knowing your business. It's such a good feeling to be speaking to other entrepreneurs that are also diverse, other Black men, Black women, because there's so much innovative ideas. And the funny thing is that we've been told no all of our lives. We have to work twice as hard as so many other people. That translates well for entrepreneurship because nothing's easy. Everyone's going to doubt you, but we've built sort of this thick skin to be able to go through it. Of course, there are harmful things. Racism exists, just biases and stereotypes. Carving our way through it with the grit, the tenacity, the resilience that it takes, it's very inspiring. So to be amongst entrepreneurs that walk a similar path and get it, man, you could just let loose and just have a conversation and learn from one another. And it's just been instrumental for my growth. Earlier, I mentioned some software as a service acronyms, CAC, LTV. Where did I get these acronyms from? I learned that at the DMZ. So it was so instrumental. What happens is, as a CEO of a company, especially a tech company, the CEO is usually the one that handles revenue and sales. The CTO takes care of product and technology. But as the CEO, you're in charge of sales and revenue, and you got to be able to talk those SaaS numbers, especially when it's time to have investor meetings. They want to make sure that they mitigate their risk as much as possible. They want to make sure that you know your numbers, but ultimately, they want to make a profit, and it's typically a 10-year relationship. They would love to make 10x on their investment, so it is a long-term relationship. The way they make their money is twofold. It's either your company gets acquired and gets eaten by a big fish. That could be a good day, depending on how you look at it. Depending on how you look at it. Or you hit IPO, which is 100 million ARR typically. So that's the long-term vision. So these are things that I learned along the DMZ. So it's great to rub shoulders and be inspired. DMZ is now a program that helps entrepreneurs like myself. They've helped me. So shout out to Isaac that founded it. Shout out to Dream Legacy Foundation. Shout out to Dream Suites that we're in right now. It's Superfly. I'm going to have to spend a night here at some time. But yeah, check out what resources are out there. Check out what grants might be available to you. And it's just one step at a time, and just keep reaching out to people that could be a mentor for you.